Howdy, folks. It's Brian. Here's some advice. These are all on the fly, so I haven't sorted through them. We'll see if they're any good. Am I the jerk for telling my brother that he got exactly what he deserved when he pushed his girlfriend away for being a gold digger? My brother is a very hard-working man, and at 27 he's now very wealthy and doing well for himself. He's been with this girl for about 6 months, and throughout the time, we've gotten very close because we both like hair and makeup and shopping. I never knew there was anything wrong with the relationship except for when last week she texted me saying that she would love to hang out, but she thinks it's inappropriate because she and him broke up. I asked her why, and she said she was sick and tired of auditioning to prove that she was with him for the right reasons. She went on to say that my brother is paranoid and she's after his money, and he would like to test her. By one, leaving out bank statements on their bed and getting upset if she picked them up, two, going out to eat at high-end restaurants he requested and leaving his wallet at home on purpose to make her pay for the bill and prove that she's not going out with him for the money, and three, never buying her gifts and questioning her when she asks why he doesn't. Alright, I think we can already see where this one's going. I was so shocked I had to hear my brother's perspective. We spoke and he told me everything was true and that there was nothing wrong with making sure that his girlfriend was with him for the right reasons. He said that he left his bank statements on the bed because he was peeking through the door to see if she would be curious when she saw and when he saw her pick up the papers, he knew in his gut that she was using him for his money. So he set up the restaurant idea to see if she would get upset at paying a $500 bill, which she was. I wonder why. I asked him if he thinks that being an elementary school teacher could have contributed to being upset about a $500 restaurant bill, and he wanted to go on and say no. He said that the last straw was that when she had asked him why he hadn't bought her a single gift since they started dating, when she bought him a gaming console and new rims for his car, and knew that she was just discreetly asking him to buy her an expensive gift. He confronted her and said that she's with him for his money, so she let me do us both a favor and dump him and blocked him. He's upset about the gold digger, and when I laughed at him and called him a jerk, he said that I would never understand what it's like being a rich man and being used, and I get that concern. But I told him that he thinks that all women will be okay with his test and audition, that he's delusional. If he doesn't want to be used for his money, then he should start dating people as wealthy as him, or leave lower income people alone if he's not going to be genuine in his relationship unless they pass his test. All right. Actually, I'm wearing headphones here. I don't need to wear these. Yeah, I don't think you're a jerk at all, and your brother needs to kind of wake up here. These tests, if you want to call them tests, are a little odd and a little controlling, and I just don't see why they're even necessary. Like, you left a piece of paper on the bed, and people are going to be curious about a piece of paper left on a bed. And if someone looks at it, isn't necessarily that they're trying to, take your money or whatnot. The thing about relationships are that you have to work with people and you have to make sure that they can contribute what they can as well as they can. Now, her being a school teacher would have a huge impact about whether or not she was going to pay a $500 bill. Now, if she was under the assumption that you were going to pay the bill and that you two are traditionally, you pick up the bill and aren't going Dutch, then that's a really cruel thing to do to someone who may not be making a lot of money. And a $500 restaurant bill is a lot of money. It's more than I would ever be able to spend at a restaurant, but I think that, um, and I don't make no money here. But the thing is that I, yeah, I don't know. Like, these tests are weird. Like, why would you saddle someone with $500 bill if you thought they were the one or you liked them, unless you told them explicitly, oh, don't worry, I'll get you back later or whatever here. So I don't know. I just think that your brother does need a wake up call. I don't know what he's thinking here, and he's going to have a real hard time finding a relationship if he continues to do this. That's plain and simple. So no, I don't think you're a jerk. 0 out of 5 here. So let's see what the next story has to say. Am I a jerk for exposing a guy to clear my name? So, pre-lockdown, I got a promotion and went out with my friends and family to celebrate. I'm not really spontaneous, but that night I went a little wild. I got a little too drunk, I was dancing, and ended up making out with some guy at the bar before I left. It wasn't a big deal, and when I woke up the next morning, my friends joked about it and moved on. Q last week, my older sister says we're finally going to meet her boyfriend. I knew she had been dating someone, just not who it was or how long. I hadn't seen the dude or anything. My sister is uber cautious about bringing her boyfriends over because they're all kind of pieces of work. But she's really excited about this guy. He's sweet, attentive, in the military, on a good path, etc. Yeah, so the dude walks in and instantly I recognize him as the bar makeout guy. At the time, I didn't know how long they'd been dating, so I dumbly assumed that it was probably before he met my sister. Neither of us acknowledged the elephant in the room, and things were a little tense, but whatever. Then, stuff hits the fan. Our dad asks them how long they've been together, and my sister says 1.5 years. Oh my. So, he was dating my sister, seemingly exclusively, when we made out at the bar. I immediately throw this guy under the bus and call him out. My sister loses it. My dad is less than pleased. More that I was drunk and made out with a stranger, which is fair to be honest, and not my finest moment. The night basically ends with them splitting up in front of everyone and him storming out and leaving my sister crying. My sister isn't mad at me, luckily. She knows I didn't obviously know that the guy was her boyfriend, but due to the incident, there is a very small dinner with only the 5 of us. Now word gets around, and what got around is that OP drunkenly made out with her sister's boyfriend, and no real explanation past that. So people kind of automatically assume the worst, and I was constantly having to explain the situation over and over again to friends and family members. So after a few days, I got sick of this and made a public post on my social media explaining the situation, exposing the dude. I didn't name him, though, and cleared it with my sister first. I'm basically clearing the air that I did not knowingly steal my sister's boyfriend. It worked and everything got cleared up. And once again, I wasn't treated like a pariah anymore. He saw the post and as I made it public, and he messaged me mad and said I shouldn't have aired it out because all the people put two to two together on his social media and are now coming down on him. Most of my family doesn't have an issue with the post. A few relatives have said it was a little much and that I should have kept it private, but they weren't saying that when they were gossiping about how I tried to steal my sister's boyfriend. So am I the jerk here? The edit just looks like, I just glanced at it, it looks just like a little bit of clarification here. No, I don't think you're a jerk here. You didn't ruin this guy's reputation. This guy ruined his reputation. Your sister isn't mad at you. That's the important thing. And you did what was right. You didn't sit on this for like days or weeks and were like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, while you guys were dating for 1 year, I made out with your boyfriend. This was innocent. You didn't do this. He did this. So yeah, that's my judgment. Good job. Way to call this guy out. He deserved to be called out. Just because he gets mad at you for being like, oh, you shouldn't have told everyone the truth. Yeah, I don't know. And all the people gossiping behind their back. behind your back, I would be careful about those kind of people in your life. They tend to be, more trouble than it's worth a lot of times. So, all in all, good job. You didn't do anything wrong here. Your sister didn't do anything wrong here. This guy, he did what was wrong here. So maybe in the future he'll learn not to cheat on people and get called out for it. So, yeah. Am I a jerk for asking to be paid for tutoring my niece 3 hours a week? This is seriously eating me up inside because I wanted to ask because I'm worried I might be being selfish. My niece is currently in high school and is struggling quite badly in math. For the past few months, I've been tutoring her once a week for roughly 3 hours in the afternoon, and her grades have begun to improve. If she has a test, it can become more than once a week. I am currently unemployed and living on about $500 a month, which is a struggle, but I am working on building up my freelancing business in hopes of increasing my income. My brother and his wife work full-time and they're financially doing quite well, as far as I can tell, but who really knows? They pay for both my nieces to attend writing school and several other activities. Today, I asked my brother if it would be possible to be paid $10 an hour for tutoring my niece, simply because it's during the day and I'm meant to be working on my freelancing. I don't have hours to spare when I don't earn money. I reasoned that it could become a full official part of my work week. I also told him that it was an occasional thing. I like helping her study for a test once every couple of months, but I never asked them to pay me. I would never ask them to pay me. My brother was not keen on it and told me that I should just tell my niece that I'm too busy to help her regularly. I asked him to speak with my wife and niece and to get back to me, but things are now, I simply can't afford to tutor her regularly and be unpaid. My older brother thinks that I should continue to help my niece and that I'm being a jerk for asking for money for helping family. My mother thinks that I'm right and I should be offered to be paid a long time ago, and that I should have been offered to be paid a long time ago. So in short, I'm worried that I might be being a jerk for asking for money to help my niece. Well, OP, no, not necessarily, and in your particular case. Now, in general, it is good to help family, and it is good to, be open to helping family for free. And I personally have a pretty strong philosophy of doing stuff for friends and family for free, or even doing stuff for friends and family that I wouldn't normally do for other people. I've repaired a lot of laptops over the years. I've repaired a lot of computers. I've foot the bill for parts and whatnot to help friends and family. And people have always been very generous and offered to pay me to fix stuff, but I usually decline as I made money and it wasn't that big of a deal. Your situation, on the other hand, you are not earning much money. You are in a pretty desperate situation, it sounds like, and you are working towards bettering your future, and this is interfering with your ability to do that. I think that it is reasonable for you to be paid for this, and that your family should want to help you, and that your family should be, should have actually offered this instead of you having to approach them. Because they probably are well aware that you are only earning a small amount of money, and if they can afford writing lessons and all this other, fancy stuff, it sounds like they probably can afford to pay you $10 an hour. I mean, honestly, $10 an hour is probably not much for them to pay for. And again, we don't know their financial situation, but it sounds like they're doing quite well. And given that you're not doing quite as well, it seems pretty reasonable to, pay you something for your time. So that's my opinion. I don't think you're a jerk. I think your, siblings are probably being more so of jerks, but the trouble with family sometimes is that Sometimes family expects things for free, and that's, I feel like, the wrong mentality. If anything, you should be like doubly supporting your family. You should be really working hard to see them succeed because, family is important and seeing your family succeed is important. But sometimes people get stuck in this whole idea of basically not wanting to see their family do well. And I think that's really sad. So, yeah, I'm sorry this situation happened, but yeah, I really feel like you should be being paid, especially given that your financial situation. So, yeah. So this one is titled, Am I a jerk for arguing with my fiance and refusing to let her niece be the flower girl instead of my sister? I'm a 23-year-old male and my fiance is a 22-year-old female and we're getting married this month. Wedding planning has literally been a nightmare. Her mom keeps stomping on the boundaries and changing any plans that we come up with to have a decent wedding and not let me ruin and embarrass her. Her mom thinks I'm a kid and calls me son and is so annoying and inappropriate. My fiance is the youngest in the family and I'm the youngest son-in-law in the family and that's why I got this nickname. Anyway, my fiance has already discussed and decided to have my 9-year-old sister be the flower girl. She has mild cerebral palsy, but she's functioning and does good at school. She's had people make comments about her and she's very sensitive and she gets upset of these inconsiderate people's comments. My sister is on cloud 9 ever since we told her that she will be the flower girl. She got her dress and so far she's tried it on more than 5 times asking me when I'm going to have the wedding, which is so sweet. The thing is, my fiance came to tell me last week that we'll be making changes in terms of the menu/invitation cards because her mom recommended other things instead of what we agreed on. According to her mom, I have no idea what a good and decent wedding looks like, and she wanted to save us herself from embarrassment. I let it go and did not say anything because my fiance told me that these were small issues and that I needed to go with the flow. Okay, no problem, but to suggest that we picked the wrong girl to be the flower girl was the straw that broke the camel's back. She actually said she wasn't sure how my sister would behave at the wedding and that we shouldn't take a chance and just pick her niece instead. I told her it wasn't going to happen. Like, I gave my parents and my sister my word. No way am I going to make her upset and sad and let her niece take her place. My fiance threw a fit and said I was overreacting. That my sister will still get her to wear her dress, but that she's going to be with the crowd instead of walking down the aisle. We'd been arguing about this the whole week, and now I'm supposed to call her and say it's okay, but I refused, and I'm standing my ground and wanted my sister to be the flower girl despite what others say because this offends me and my family. Oh, yeah. Run. Run now. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme, but run. No, I mean, okay. Why don't I be serious for a second? Run. Your fiance and her mother-in-law are ruining your wedding. This should be mutual. You should both be planning here mutually. This was something that your sister was looking forward to. And it's so sad that they think that she's going to misbehave or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what their true motivations here are, and I sincerely hope that it isn't that they are embarrassed by having someone with cerebral palsy, in the wedding party. If that's the case, they are garbage people, and yeah, that's my assessment. If this is just they're afraid that she has behavioral issues, then I don't know, it still is really gross. So yeah, I give you definitely 0 out of 10. Run. I give them definitely like 4 out of 5, maybe 5 out of 5. You don't get a little girl's hopes up about being the flower girl and then just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take this away from you at the last possible second." If this had been something, yeah, I don't know. This should have been discussed a long time ago. This isn't something that should have been changed last minute, and I think it's a shame. I think it's terrible, and I think that this is maybe the wedding is stressful. Maybe things are kind of getting to your wife or your fiance rather, and it's causing her to act in a way that she normally wouldn't. I sincerely hope that's the case, but your mother-in-law, she has no right to interfere. She has no right to basically control the wedding here. And you can give them an ultimatum. You can either say, my sister is going to be in the wedding party, or we're not getting married. I would sincerely think that that would be a option. I don't think that's necessarily a bad option. And yeah, I don't know. This is a really sad situation. I'm sorry that you're dealing with this. I think that there's a lot wrong here. I think that your fiance, if she's just not good at standing up to her mother, then maybe that's one thing. But, this is going to be indicative of what you're going to have to experience for basically for as long as her mother is around. She's going to walk all over you two, and she's going to try to control you, and she's going to try to say what decisions you should make in your life and what things you shouldn't do, and she's going to say that she knows best and that you don't know. And that really concerns me here, and I think as long as your wife isn't standing up to her and isn't actually saying, you need to back off, this is our wedding, this is, our plans, our future, then you two are going to have issues, and you may not even be married for that long anyways. So good luck. Good job with standing up for your sister. And I hope that things end up working out. Maybe, just maybe, they'll have a change of heart, and maybe everyone can have a happy, fun time. All right, so our last story that we're going to read today is called Am I a Jerk for Shutting Off the Water and Power When We Moved Out? This one sounds interesting because I would judge this person just from the title as the jerk, but Reddit's already judged this one as not the jerk, so let's try to figure out what happened here. Hey, longtime stalker, first time poster, posting from my phone, so forgive me and any formatting issues. So I find myself in a strange situation where I'm unaware if I'm the jerk or not. My boyfriend is a 38-year-old male, and I'm a 38-year-old male. Just bought a house together for the first-time homeowners, and we moved in late September. Now, we moved out of a home that we had been renting for 15 months. We gave the landlady 3 months' notice, and our lease would terminate on October 31st, so you see we had a full month of overlap between the two houses. Now, the house was bare for all of October, and since we were still renting, I had the utilities remained on under my name. But in early October, I sent the power and water to be shut off on Friday, October 30th, a day early, which is partly where I may be the jerk here, because services aren't turned on or off on the weekend and can potentially take 3 days, which would be November 5th. I'll also point out that I told her that I had scheduled the utilities to be shut down, and she initially asked me to call and transfer them into her name. I told her I can't do that. She says she has to call. I can't tell a utility company to send bills to some random person at another address. Hell, she should know that. Now, my landlady is a bad one. She's crazy and negligent. The roof leaks, and we were promised a new roof when we moved in last July, but that never happened. She's left the baseboard off after the bathroom remodel, and we moved in, which left it a sizable hole in the wall, and it collected water from the shower, leading to mold. She promised to fix this. That never happened. Just examples to show that she never follows up through with her promises. Now here's the problem. I handled all the rent checks and paid all the utilities. My boyfriend paid his half, just everything is in my name. She knows this, but she has a friendlier relationship with my boyfriend because they have mutual friends. She never responds to my texts, but she does message him occasionally. Now, she made a very unusual request of my boyfriend to pass on to me 5 days before the official end of the lease. She wanted me to not turn off the water and power. No, no, no. She wanted me to keep them in my name until the new renter... She wanted me not to turn off the water. She wanted me to keep them in my name until a new renter was found and then reimburse me? Which I highly doubt would happen. Yeah, this sounds questionable. I'm going to read the rest. Obviously, there was no way I was going to do this. In my mind, all she has to do is call the utilities and have them transferred into her name, but she didn't do it. Anyway, the day came and it gets shut off. Now she has to pay the fees to have them turned back on. She's angry and thinks I'm a jerk. She says that I should have coordinated better, but I think that since she is the landlady, it's her job to coordinate with me. I think it's highly unprofessional and illegal to ask a tenant to retain utilities in their name after the lease is over, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how she handles the deposit return. So Reddit, am I a jerk? And either way, how should I have handled this differently? No. The trend of this episode seems to be no, you're not the jerk. And here's why you're not the jerk. You don't own that house. You don't need to pay her utilities. This is insanity, and the fact that she thinks that you should cover them until somebody moves in is even more insane. Now, if you had had a good relationship with them, and if you knew that the person was trustworthy and wasn't going to take advantage of you, then maybe, just maybe, you could have coordinated this a little bit differently. But she had a month. She could have figured this out. She is a landlady. She's a grown adult, presumably. And she could have, gotten the utilities switched over to her name. It's pretty simple. I don't know why she's making a big fuss here. It seems like a pretty trivial thing. And it really sketches me out that she wanted you to have the utility bills in your name for an extended period of time. That's just my opinion. So, yeah, not the jerk. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully I didn't stumble around too much for you. I am very bad at reading aloud, but I do enjoy reading these stories and giving my 2 cents on them. So hopefully you don't mind too much. And so I guess I'll see you all later. Hopefully you enjoy. And I'll talk to you later. Alright, bye. I just ended this video like I was talking on the phone. So I'm not talking on the phone, but I'll see you all later. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. I don't know when I'm posting this, but bye.